It's rough, but it's mine, she said, opening a demo that displayed a sleek interface. It streamlined real-time communication across platforms, text, video, even encrypted data transfers. It was intuitive, elegant, and eerily similar to a project his R&D team had been struggling to crack for months. This is good, he said, his voice low. Really good. Why haven't you pitched this to someone? If you're so smart, then translate it, the Billionaire CEO had mocked the Waitress. But suddenly, she left him speechless. What if the smartest person in the room isn't the one wearing the suit? Stay with me, because this isn't just a story about business. It's about breaking barriers, unexpected genius, and how sometimes the people we overlook are the ones who change everything. Michael Langston thrived on control. At 42, he'd built Langston Enterprises into a tech empire, its devices and software defining the digital age. In boardrooms, his sharp suits, sharper features, and icy blue eyes commanded attention. His impatience was as infamous as his success. But tonight, control was slipping. A $2 billion merger with Synergy Solutions depended on a labyrinthine 200-page contract. Even his Ivy League lawyers struggled with the legal landmines inside. Deadlines loomed. Competitors circled. His temper simmered. He needed a break. His driver suggested a place nearby, a relic of the past called Rosie's. The diner had chipped Formica tables, flickering neon signs, and the kind of stubborn charm Michael usually dismissed. He scoffed, but relented. He wasn't there to eat. He needed space to think. Inside, the air smelled of coffee and fried onions. A jukebox played a soft Motown tune. A few truckers and nurses sat quietly, paying no mind to the man in a $5,000 suit. Michael slid into a booth and spread the contract across the table, scrawling frustrated notes through incomprehensible clauses. Indemnification protocols, fiduciary, contingencies, escrow stipulations. The words blurred into nonsense. Grace Harper, 28, watched from behind the counter. She'd been working at Rosie's for 3 years. Nimble hands juggling plates, eyes that missed nothing. Her auburn hair was tied in a messy bun, green eyes quietly observant. She had a talent for reading people. You learn that after years of serving strangers. She noticed his slouched shoulders, clenched jaw, and the way his pen dug into the paper. Exhaustion, rage, desperation. She walked over, sneakers squeaking on the linoleum. "Rough night?" she asked, setting down a glass of water. Michael didn't look up. "You could say that." She glanced at the papers, margins full of angry scribbles. "Looks like a lot. Want to talk it out? Sometimes saying it out loud helps." He finally met her eyes and scoffed. "What, you're a lawyer now? Stick to pouring coffee, sweetheart." Her smile didn't fade, but her eyes hardened. "Just trying to help. You look like you're wrestling a bear." "It's a contract," he snapped. "Unless you've got a law degree under that apron. I doubt you'd get it." She tilted her head, unfazed. "Try me. Translate it into plain English. If it's that complicated, maybe a fresh pair of eyes can help." He laughed, cold and condescending. "You're a genius now." "Fine. If you're so smart, then translate it." He shoved the contract toward her. She didn't flinch. Instead, she picked it up and began flipping through it with surprising care. She sat across from him, reading, lips moving as she scanned the text. Then she pulled a notepad from her apron and started jotting notes. Precise, focused. "Okay," she said after a few minutes. "This section, indemnification protocols, it's about who's responsible if something goes wrong. Like buying a car that breaks down the next day. This clause decides who pays for the repairs. Synergy wants you to eat most of the risk if their tech fails post-merger." Michael blinked. "That's actually not wrong." His tone was reluctant, but a flicker of curiosity lit his eyes. "Go on." She flipped to another page. This escrow part, think of it like a piggy bank neither party can touch until certain conditions are met. They're asking for $500 million in escrow, which ties up your cash flow. You could negotiate that down or release funds in phases. He leaned forward, his skepticism starting to slip. How do you know this? Grace shrugged. I listen. I read. People underestimate waitresses, but we hear everything. Breakups. Business deals. You name it. Plus, I like puzzles. He didn't fully believe her, but he let her continue. And over the next hour, she dismantled the contract's complexity with startling clarity. She simplified without dumbing down, spotted risks his own team had overlooked, like a clause that allowed Synergy to walk away without penalty if Langston's stock dipped. She offered counterclauses, used analogies that made abstract terms tangible. It's like signing a lease that lets the landlord evict you without notice, she explained. Michael's arrogance began to crack. This wasn't just a waitress with good intuition. There was a sharp analytical mind here, one that cut through chaos like a scalpel. Who are you? He asked. She hesitated. Just someone good at figuring things out. You done mocking me yet? He didn't respond, but his silence was enough. By midnight, the diner had emptied. Michael pushed the contract aside, attention now fully on her. You're not just a waitress. She cleaned the counter slowly. I'm a lot of things. Waitress, sister, daughter. I was a computer science major for a while. Life had other plans. Why'd you quit? Didn't quit. Just paused. My mom got sick. My brother was struggling. Someone had to keep the lights on. Her tone was calm but heavy. I've been teaching myself since. Coding, mostly. Keeps my brain busy. He sat back, reassessing. Coding? Like what? She hesitated, then pulled out her phone. I've been working on something. An app. But who's going to take a waitress seriously? I don't have a degree. Just code I write at 2 a.m. after my shift. Michael's mind was racing. Langston Enterprises had been losing ground to companies with better communication platforms. Her app could be a breakthrough. But more than that, she had vision, precision, grit. Things his top executives didn't. You're wrong, he said finally. Someone would take you seriously. I would. She raised an eyebrow. You? The guy who called me sweetheart and told me to stick to coffee? He winced. Fair point. I was an ass. But I'm not blind. You've got something. Let me help. Resources, funding, a team, whatever you need. She studied him. Why? Should I trust you? You don't even know me. Because I know talent when I see it. And because you just saved my deal. Let me return the favor. Over the next week, Michael couldn't stop thinking about her. He closed the merger, thanks to her insights, and saved his company millions. But it was her app, her mind, her story that stayed with him. He went back to Rosie's. No contract. Just a proposal to develop her app under Langston's umbrella, with Grace as lead developer. She was cautious, but intrigued. She agreed, on her terms. She'd keep her job at Rosie's until the app launched. She wanted a say in how it was built. Michael, unused to being challenged, found himself respecting her more for it. As they worked together, he saw the world through her eyes, a world of night shifts and deferred dreams. She introduced him to her mother, recovering but fragile, and her brother, a teenager with potential and self-doubt. Michael, who had always seen success as a solo pursuit, began to understand the strength in community. 6 months later, the app, ConnectFear, launched to critical acclaim. It wasn't just software. It was a tool that changed how people and businesses communicated. Grace became a rising star in tech. She started a scholarship fund for working-class students, so others like her could finish what she'd been forced to pause. Michael changed too. He overhauled Langston's hiring strategy, looking beyond resumes, beyond degrees, community colleges, small towns, diners. A year later, Michael sat at Rosie's again, this time as a regular. Grace wasn't behind the counter anymore. She was a guest of honor, celebrating Connect Fear's latest update. The diner buzzed with energy. The jukebox played. Michael raised his coffee mug. "To underestimating people," he said, grinning. Grace clinked hers against his. "To proving them wrong." Outside, the city moved on, unaware of the quiet revolution that began in a diner booth. It wasn't just about an app or a deal. It was about seeing people. Really. Seeing them and realizing the world is far bigger and brighter than any boardroom could contain.